Okay. Lovely to see you, Jane, and it's really my pleasure to invite you to to share um, everything about what's going on in your life. And to me, you are truly beautiful inside out, and so it's really my honor to have you today. Thank you so much, Jane.
Oh, thank you so much. It's very exciting to talk with you.
I always talk about pain. I think
Mm,
pain is a very important, is something that is unavoidable in life, you know. And I always feel that we need to be so open about our pain.
yeah.
But because of the society that we live in, the social media and everything, you know, we are not supposed to talk about that. So you're so open about your pain. Could you tell us the reason why you're so open about your pain?
Well, um, people ask me all the time, is it hard to share so much about the pain in your life? And the answer to that question is yes, of course it's hard, but it's harder to not share about the pain that happens in my life.
Mhm.
Um, Sometimes we think that, especially with social media, there's a pressure to show this perfect version of our life.
Absolutely.
Um, Only the beautiful pictures, and only when our house looks perfect, and only when we're out for fancy dinner with all our beautiful friends.
Yes.
Um, and we can say we're lying to other people about our life, but I think even more than that, we're trying to lie to ourselves. We're trying to convince ourselves that our life is more or better or different than what it is. Um, and when you can really be brave enough to be honest with yourself about the disappointment, um, or the pain or the struggle in your life, then once you accept yourself the way that you are, then you're free to show that imperfect person to the world. And then it won't matter if they like you or not because you've already accepted yourself. So I have been so unbelievably disappointed with my life over the last 5 years.
Right.
So disappointed. I always thought my life would be better than this.
Mhm.
And I realized I'm not the only one that feels that way about my life. And the more I share the truth about myself, the more other people share the truth about themselves too. And now we're all being honest and we're all better. So that's why I do it.
And I feel that because as an Asian, I think it's even worse because it's a different culture, different mindset, and we are not supposed to talk about all these negative things because pain is
Mm,
negative. But I believe that we need to embrace that life
yeah.
throws on us, like
Yeah.
literally embrace it, and not push it away and just denounce it because that's not realistic at all.
Yeah, it's not healthy. It helps nobody. Nobody is better. It's just a lie. And you're so right. Because none of us are everything we wish we were.
Yes.
Nobody is. And um, sometimes it just takes one brave person to tell the truth, and then everyone else can tell the truth as well.
Just to give you a little bit of history about this column, I call it beautiful inside out because I've been a celebrity makeup artist, stylist
Yeah.
for the longest time, and I was so consumed into this whole fame and glory and the superficiality of things. There's nothing wrong. I always tell my clients there's nothing wrong about being superficial as long as you're able to know when is the right time, what is real and what is fake.
Oh, so good. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot
Mhm.
of people just because with social media these days, we look on the external world to get our worth,
Yeah,
and that is very scary.
it is very scary. Wow, that's really important. Right, because I love makeup and beauty and aesthetic and branding. I love it when it all looks perfect and shiny and everything is in order. I love it. I thrive on it. But if we start to believe that that's reality and that's all there is, that's when we get into trouble. We have to know the difference between what's real and what's superficial.
And speaking about pain, I read somewhere a quote by Dr. Michael Bernard Backward. He was saying that when we are faced with adversity, we begin to unravel our consciousness.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
That is so, it's so true. And sometimes people, like you said, we need to embrace the whatever it is, we embrace it, because like this quote says, it forces us to unravel what we thought we knew.
Yes.
Ever the way that we view the world. And pain is a gift in that way. There's a poet named Mary Oliver, and she has a short poem, and it says, "Someone I loved once gave me a box full of darkness. It took me years to see that this too was a gift." And the pain and the tragedy and the trauma that we experience, it forces us to look inward and to
dive deeper,
yeah, into maybe the places of ourselves we don't want to see. That's why pain is a gift. And when somebody like me, I'm not the only one who has gone through hard times the last few years, but when somebody is willing to walk down those hard roads that pain wants to take you down, it makes you into such a strong, fortified, like immovable, confident person. And that is it's such a gift. And there's a cost to it, because it's hard and it hurts. And sometimes it gets worse before it gets better. But the reward for it will always be worth it. Always.
Wow, that is so powerful. And I like what you just said. It's really a gift, but a lot of us don't see it as a gift. But were you like this before?
That's a good question. Not no, not as much. I think I had a very high, lofty opinion of myself before all of this happened.
Tell us more.
I had a lot of goals. I've always wanted to be a singer. I've always wanted to have influence. And, when I was younger and when I first started this journey as a singer, I just wanted everyone to like me. I just wanted everyone to think I was beautiful. I wanted everyone to think I was so talented. I wanted crowds of people cheering my name. That was just so important to me. And I worked really hard for that. And I felt like I was entitled to it, like I deserved it. And going through cancer 3 times and divorce and having a complete mental breakdown kind of teaches you that life doesn't owe you anything. You're not entitled to anything. Wow. Any good thing that you get is a gift. And you need to receive it as a gift and be grateful and humble to have it. And I didn't realize how bad my motives were before all of this. And many times, the goals that we seek out of life, all they are is just an attempt to fill this greater emptiness. Like there's like a sinkhole underneath the ground in us somewhere. And many times we don't know it, but our ambition, the world might praise our ambition and say, wow, he's so driven, or he works so hard. But most of the time, the truth is, it's just an attempt to fill this greater emptiness that we have under the surface. And that's all I think that's all it was for me before.
Wow, that is so touching, because I think we are all chasing after something in our lifetime. We are all chasers, every one of us. We're chasing, like with social media, we're chasing for connection, recognition, affirmation. We are chasing after money, after fame, power, beauty, everything. So you were chasing for those things that you mentioned before.
Yeah.
And right now, what are you chasing for?
I just want to be, you know what? I don't know if I'm chasing, maybe for the first time in my life, I'm not chasing anything. And I've realized I've been on my deathbed 3 different times, very close to death 3 times. And I finally realized when you are on your deathbed, you are not thinking about being beautiful. You are not thinking about who you can impress. You are not thinking about being famous. You are not thinking about being on television. You don't care. You don't care about any of it. All you want when you're on your deathbed is to be with your friends and your family and to enjoy life, silly things. You want the normal stuff when you're dying. When you're dying, you don't want all this grandiose, all these dreams. When you're dying, you just want to drink coffee in the morning. You know, when you're dying, all you want is to read a book by a window when it's raining outside. All you want to do is write a song that means something to you and maybe sing it for nobody in the world. That's the stuff that you want when you're dying. And so it's beautiful to be in this position now where all my dreams really are coming true and fast, right in front of my eyes. Everything I've dreamed for and worked for are at my fingertips.
When you're not chasing after.
But it's, yeah, yes. And now it's in its proper place. So it used to be my everything. I needed it. But now I don't need it anymore. Like pain has taught me this lesson over and over about what's important. And so now I can enjoy all of this, all the excitement, all the attention, all the interviews. I can enjoy it as a gift, as extra. It's icing on the cake, because walking through the pain that I walked through showed me that all the good things in life, all the important things in life, I already have them, and nobody can take those away from me. So there's no anxiety anymore about losing any of it, because we know how life is, and fame is fickle and it comes and goes. I was happy before this happened. And if it ends, 2 weeks from now, I'll be happy again. And that's why it's actually fun and it's not stressful, because I don't need this to be a complete person.
Because you already completed yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And back to adversity, because I think when happens, the first thing that comes to our head is, why me? And then we indulge in self-pity, and then we go deeper and deeper, and then we get lower and lower. So my question to you is, when you found out about your condition, what was the first thing that came into your mind?
Well, it took me a while. So I've been diagnosed with cancer 3 times.
Right.
One time in 2017,
right.
One time 2020, and then again 2021. And each time it was harder to hear. Right. The first time I took it like a total champion. I was not worried about it one bit. I just thought, I'm going to be fine. The second time, immediately, I was in such despair. And the third time was the same. And I have felt really, really sorry for myself.
The second time or the third time?
Both. Third time was the worst.
Right.
Because I thought I deserved something better out of life. I had fought. The first couple times I was just thinking, life is hard for everyone, and this isn't fair, but it's happening. So I'm going to just take it by the horns and handle it. But by the third time, I was so weary, just so exhausted. And I thought, I don't even want to fight anymore. If this is going to happen to me over and over and over, like, did someone place a curse on my life to where this is just always going to be this way? And I have felt really, really, really sorry for myself. And it's hard to get out of it. Like you said, once you go deeper and deeper and deeper, and it takes so much work to pull yourself back up. And the truth is, what?
Sorry, what pull you out?
My family and my friends. It's kind of silly. It seems kind of silly, but there were times, um, especially just at the beginning of this year, where I said, I want to die. I don't, I don't, I don't want to do this anymore. I've fought so hard and I've fought really well. I've fought this battle really, really well. And if life isn't going to give me anything back for it, then like let me just rest in peace, you know. Um, but I had friends that would say, you know, you didn't come this far to give up. Um, there is a purpose for your life. Um, one day it will get better. I know you can't imagine it in a million years, but people would promise me, I know it's going to get better. And I didn't believe them completely, but I believed him a little bit. I believed him a little bit. And there were people that just refused to allow me to give up. But if it wasn't for them, I definitely would have.
Wow. That reminds me of a quote by Eckhart Tolle.
Mm.
He was saying that when you're faced with adversity and pain, you need to surrender yourself to it. I think this
Yeah.
is what you did. You actually surrender yourself to it. But that doesn't mean you do not seek treatments, but you
Right.
don't fight against it. You don't condition yourself mentally that you are sick.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Our thoughts have so much power
Yes,
over our body.
yes.
And um, that's something that I've learned a lot about. Um, our our cells in our body are listening to our thoughts all the time, and they take cues from what our heart is saying and what our mind is saying. Um, so I always try to. I never pretended like I wasn't in pain. Yeah. Yes. Like you said, never lie to myself and pretend like I'm not in pain. Embrace it, but also say, yes, life is so hard and so painful, but yes, life is so full of hope. um and there's all these parts of ourself, right? There's a brave part and a scared part, and
The angel and the devil.
yes, absolutely, yeah, there's all these voices, and all of them, they're all me.
Yes.
um but I get to choose which ones drive the car, which one's in charge. So um courage drives the car, and fear and pain and all that, they can be in the car. I'm not going to kick them out because they're part of me.
I can be in the back seat.
Yeah, but they can stay in the back seat. They can't drive. They can't tell me where to go. They can maybe give me suggestions or say what they think, but courage drives the car. Love drives the car. Joy drives the car.
Yes.
Um, I get to decide who's in charge of where this is going, and it's hard work.
Wow. And it's so important because I think every time we are faced with adversity, we tend to indulge in self pity. And the words coming out from our mouth, oh
Mm.
my God, those are toxic, I'm telling you.
Oh, they are. They're so important. Yeah, I don't know how it works in the world of things, but the words that we say impact reality in a huge way, in a huge way. So it's important to find the balance between being honest and also being positive. Because
Yeah.
we can't lie, again, we can't lie and say, "No, I'm fine. I don't have cancer. Everything is happy. Everything is good." That's a lie. But um, we can't go down the self pity like, oh, my life is so bad. This will always happen. Everything's going to be awful forever. Because somehow those things come true if we say them too much.
Yes. And I was reading somewhere that when you're faced with such, negative situations, we're supposed to say positive things. Like, what is this supposed to teach us?
Mhm.
What are my lessons from this? What is trying to emerge from this lesson or this experience?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Pain is a
If
harsh teacher and a
yes,
gift. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. If we don't have the choice about if life hurts or if it doesn't hurt. We cannot decide the bad things that happen to us, but
mm,
we can decide if it's going to make us better or if it's going to make us worse. And that is a lot of power.
And this is my last question for you. And since you've been through so much, so what is your purpose of your life right now?
Hmm. The purpose of my life is to show people what is possible.
Right.
I hope that when people look at me, they can see themselves in me. Everybody needs everybody needs a hero. Um, and I'm not exactly I'm not exactly a hero, but um, everybody needs a fairy tale story sometimes to remind us of about what is possible. Because my story has been quite impossible, even that I'm still surviving, that I'm alive, um, but that I'm still happy and that I'm still pursuing a dream, and just that my music is traveling all over the world and my message is traveling all over the world. If you would tell this story to me when I was a little girl, I would not have believed you. Um, but stories like this help people get up, and I'm so happy to be that for the world right now.
Thank you so much for reminding us to be grateful, to count our blessings, and to embrace the darkness and light in us. Because without the darkness, we will not see the light.
Yeah, so good.
Thank you so
So
much,
good
Jane.
talking to you.
Lovely talking to you.